Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Time to bring some focus to your favorite and not so favorite geeky films. Cam here and welcome back to Cam in Focus. Alright, so before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to Geek News Now, hit up metallicdicegames.com and use the code GNN for 10% off, and hit up rippedapparel.com and use the code GNN10 for 10% off. Here we go. Alright, so this video will be, different. Since we're approaching the end of the year, I thought it might be fun to take a look back on something I did a long time ago, so that I could share it with you guys to kind of have a look at how much I, as a film enthusiast, have grown. This is a rage review that I did back on my old personal channel for a little flick called, Jurassic Shark. This was the first film review that I really got super serious about editing with, and I think that y'all might get a kick out of it. Now, I do have to warn you that this does have some strong language in it, so I apologize in advance, but it's all in good fun. And I also apologize that the audio and visual quality is going to be a little less than ideal. I recorded it with an old digital camera. So, without further ado, I present to you my review from January 2018 of Jurassic Shark. Enjoy! So there really haven't been very many movies that have offended me, personally, as much as this one has. No, we don't talk about that one. Not that one. That movie's a travesty. Let's just go ahead and push that aside. This movie stands on its own as probably one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my life, period. Now, what movie could I possibly be talking about? Well, it is none other than Jurassic Shark. Yeah, how about that? Obviously one of those shitty made-for-sci-fi kind of movies that's obviously trying to cash in on the success of Sharknado with a name like Jurassic Shark. Oh, by the way, Universal, sue somebody. And let me just start off by saying this movie was an absolute pain. It took me two sessions to get through this movie in its entirety. I sat down, I watched it for maybe half an hour, and then I turned it off and... But I'm not going to waste your time anymore. Let's go ahead and dive right into Jurassic Shark. So we start off with, what else? Reading! Finding out what the Megalodon supposedly was. So it means big tooth and it lived from X year to Y year. And we just keep reading. And reading. And reading. Will you just get the fuck on with the movie? I don't care about, what it did to the environment. I don't care if it was a big, powerful predator. I just want to see the fucking movie. No, wait, I take that back. I don't want to see the movie. The only reason I'm sitting through this idiotic text crawl is so I can get to the end of the movie faster. So we start off on the coast of who gives a fuck where we are, and obviously, just in the opening shot of the movie, you can already tell that something is very wrong. Right as soon as the first words of dialogue come out of these characters' mouths, you can already tell what kind of movie you're in for.
Are you sure we're allowed to be here? What do you mean? It's quiet. No one here to bother us.
If that doesn't immediately make you shut off the movie, then you got nerves of steel, my friend, because this is tragically painful. Oh, and I love how she puts her hand over her eyes like she's shielding her eyes from the sun whenever the sun is clearly behind them. I guess the whole flour is too spicy for white people thing applies to the sun as well. And we are treated to a very long and uncomfortable and unnecessary undressing scene while they, change into their bathing suits, and what's the point of showing us their undressing from start to finish? Whoa, hello sudden environment change!
Mr. Chairman, sir.
And hello CEO character that we'll never see again. So we have this doctor named Who Gives a Fuck, and he's talking about this supposed ice pocket that they found while drilling for oil, and they've never drilled this far before. Because Plot development! Okay, and we are back on the beach. So the girls give us this lazy exposition about where they are and what they're doing and the oil company that's drilling on the island that they're on and why nobody wants to come to this, you know, paradise of a beach that's covered in gravel. And I just want to point out here how lazy and sloppy the ADR is.
It's a total dive now, though.
Like, my God, how do you look at that and how do you read those lips and say, yes, that is acceptable. That's going to make it into the final cut of this movie. Are you serious? I understand this movie had a low budget, but you gotta have some standards at some point. And as these characters continue talking, you start to realize that these characters, along with every other character that you'll encounter in this movie, are written to be the most one-dimensional, boring, disposable characters.
It's like totally depressing.
I know. You want to go for a swim?
Like in a pool or something?
No, you spaz in the lake.
Swim in a pool. Are you serious? You're by the water, you dipshit. Where else would you swim?
You watch too many movies, you know.
Whoa! Sudden scene transition again. Could you be any sloppier with your scene-to-scene transitions? Seriously, this movie jumps around more than a Mexican jumping bean. Why? Already I want to turn this movie off. I mean, not that I didn't before, but it's getting more and more painful by the minute. So we have this scientist lady, I'm also going to call her Who Gives a Fuck because you never really see her again in the movie at all, trying to tell the other scientists that they've drilled too deep and that they might have released something into the water.
All safety protocols have been met.
What protocols? We've never dug this deep before. When it melted, God knows what was released into the lake. What kind of bacteria, or worse. Look, the samples we got are 80 million years old.
Wait a minute, what was that? 80 million years old? You just said in the beginning text of this movie that the Megalodon lived from 1.5 million years ago to 28 million years ago. That's a wide span of time, but 80 million years is an even larger jump in time. You can't even follow your own logic, not to mention that the years that you've dated out don't even follow the Jurassic period anyway. This movie can't follow any semblance of logic. Oh. But of course the scientist refuses to stop drilling because, you know, money, I guess. The motivations aren't really spelled out at all. I'm just going to assume it's money. And as she tries to stop him, here we have probably the best delivered line in the movie. Really? Yeah, that was the best line in the movie. And then we're treated to probably the best shaky cam since the fight scene in Alex Cross. I guess. I mean, well done, guys. You shake the camera real good.
No! You drilled too deep!
The drilling causes some kind of explosion, and this is the explanation that this ditzy blonde has for her friend who's worried about it.
Relax, we used to get earthquakes all the time in this area.
And that huge explosion.
Probably just some poor hillbillies or something.
But the two chicks decide to go for a swim finally. And here you'll notice probably one of the biggest gripes that I have with this movie. The audio. The audio, just because... Just watch. Just watch.
Stop it! What are you gonna do about it? You...
And they just keep going. They just keep going. Like the undressing scene, this scene is needlessly long. What two normal people go into water and splash around like this, just like this, for almost 3 fucking minutes? Who? They're not even getting their hair wet. It doesn't even look like they're having any kind of fun. Just... And then, of course, we see the shark that was supposedly released from the ice pocket decide to eat one of the girls. And then we are treated to the most Oscar-worthy acting you'll ever see. This girl clearly conveys a sense of urgency that her friend has suddenly been dragged underwater and is nowhere to be found.
Tiffany? Tiffany? Tiffany! Tiff?
No, that wasn't me using the same audio clip twice. That was them. I have nothing to say about it. It's fucking stupid. And then as the second girl gets eaten, we're treated to the opening credits. And more opening credits. And more opening credits. Would you fucking get on with the movie? Seriously, I bet if you took out all the needlessly long scenes in this movie, you'd probably compress the entire movie to about half an hour. Like, what's the point of having the opening credits and showing almost everybody who was involved in the making of this movie in the beginning of the movie? Like, why? Do we really care? We don't care! We don't care, and it's so long! So after those idiotic credits, we're introduced to our main, I guess, villains of the movie. I mean, I don't really know what to call them. They're just kind of there. And they're bad people.
Haul ass, boys! Move, move, move!
And I'm not even going to bother naming them or trying to figure out who the hell they are because you don't care. You really just don't care. Their acting isn't good enough to give the characters any kind of credibility anyway, so who cares? They're on the run from the police because they've stolen this painting. I guess it's supposed to be important. You don't really know because you never see it. And we're treated to probably the most pointless line of exposition in this entire movie. It just completely comes out of nowhere.
She's crazy.
Hey, don't let her hear you say that.
What?
Look, you're my only brother. Now help me with this.
And as they walk away from their car, they leave their trunk open, I guess? Is that just something that they do? Is that something criminals do often? Leave open the trunk of a car? As they're making their getaway? So they get in a boat and start rowing onto the lake, and I guess they're trying to hide out on this island that's supposedly a couple of miles out, whenever you can clearly see that the lake isn't even a couple of miles wide? You're kind of tugging on my suspension of disbelief here. And I love how in some shots you can tell that they're very obviously either on or near dry land. I mean, they couldn't even crop out the greenery that pops up. Like, really? Is there anybody in that long sequence of opening credits that wasn't lazy as hell? And then after a little while, the shark knocks the boat over, eats one of the guys. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? He eats a guy. They drop the painting in the water and they start swimming. Moving on. And then we're introduced to our main heroes of this movie, who I can honestly say that I don't like any better than the villains of this movie.
Look at this place!
Woo!
Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing. Let's go.
Can we get a little help here, please?
We get some dialogue about why they're there and this journalism project that this chick's trying to do, and you know, some crappy dialogue trying to set up a romance between her and the guy that's with them, and you don't care. You don't fucking care. This movie isn't good enough to merit any kind of character development because you don't care about these characters at all. Period. Just, who gives a shit? And as they walk away from the car, they leave the trunk open again. I just have no words. I have no words for them. Moving on. So the criminals are washed up on shore, and they don't really care that one of their friends just got eaten. All they care about is going back in and getting the painting, which she says is 300 feet out. Remember that fact. Remember that the painting is 300 feet out from the shore of the island that they're on. Just remember that.
It's about 300 feet out. If I calculated it right, parallel with that strip of land.
So we're finally treated to our first shot of the shark actually eating somebody. Okay, this is what we've been waiting for. Hopefully this movie can redeem itself if the shark effects are at least good. So, let's see what you got. Let's see that one more time. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What? We've suffered through the entire first part of this movie to see the shark kill somebody, and this is the shark effect? It looks like they got it on loan from the drunk intern who just spent his first day learning how to use 3ds Max. It looks terrible. Okay, let me give you a little bit of a crash course. Here's a lesson for you. In horror movies, as this movie is trying to pass itself off as, there's this thing called suspense. And suspense is often built up not through the reveal of the monster, but through the build-up. The audience is supposed to feel on edge for what's about to happen. But when you show us this abomination, all suspense goes out the window. All tension goes out the window. How the hell is the audience supposed to be scared of this computer-generated shark booger? Are you kidding me? It doesn't work! It just doesn't work, and this is what we have to deal with for the rest of the fucking movie! But I digress. This guy's brother just got eaten, so maybe his acting over losing his brother will be able to save this movie. Okay, sir, you just lost your brother. I really need you to convey to the audience this sense of sorrow and dread and loss that you're experiencing right now.
Jerry.
Brilliant!
Can't believe it. He's almost ashore.
So our main heroes of the movie are out on the water too on a boat, and they're rowing to, I assume, the same island or whatever. And of course, the shark attacks them too. And I love, as the boat is rocking back and forth, I love how you can tell this guy is just trying so hard not to smile. It's like he's bored as shit, and he's just happy that there's half-naked flailing girls all around him, and he's just having the time of his fucking life. But the shark capsizes the boat, eats the guy, and now we have plot progression. I guess we're moving along here. Are you interested yet? So our heroes and our villains run across each other, and they kinda team up, I guess. I mean, the villains lie to them about why they're there, and I guess now we have camaraderie.
Are you guys okay? Are you hurt?
We're okay, but Mike!
That thing in the water killed our friend. I'm so sorry.
So they camp out for the night, and they eventually decide to, find the factory or warehouse or drilling, whatever the fuck it is, that's supposedly on the other side of the island. Now keep in mind, they make it a point to say that from where they are to the destination that they're going to is a 5-hour walk.
The research center's on the west side of the island. It's about a 5-hour walk.
Now you remember what I told you to remember earlier on in the review? Also keep this in mind, they're walking for 5 hours, so just wait. So they start walking. And walking. And walking. And walking. Will you just get on with the movie already? What is with all of these uncomfortably long scenes? Unnecessarily long scenes? Who cares how much they're walking? We don't need to see every step of their fucking journey!
I'm sorry about Mike. He had a thing for you,
Oh yeah, don't try to shoehorn in character development now, Skip! So they find the manufacturing whatever the fuck, and they decide to go inside and look for anybody who can help them. And they say to split up.
We should split up.
Only to be together again in the next shot.
Tia! Like I said, a 2-year-old.
And they eventually come across the doctor dude who's lying on the ground all bloodied up for whatever fucking reason. You never know why he has blood on him. You just know he has blood on him. Who cares? He's there. Who cares? And the criminals decide to finally reveal their true colors and show how diabolical they are by, threatening to kill the girls if the doctor doesn't go in and fetch the painting.
Since this is all your fault, I hope you can swim.
Which, again, she says...
It's about 300 feet out. Can't miss it.
Can you follow any semblance of logic? You just walked for 5 hours from one side of this island to the other, and you're not even in the same location that you were before whenever you said that the painting was 300 feet out. So how the hell is it 300 feet out from the shoreline when you just walked for 5 hours? Okay, let's see. The average human walks maybe 2 or 3 miles an hour. So over 5 hours, that's at least 10 miles that they just walked. How? One, must be a big ass island, 10 miles wide in this big ass lake, however many miles wide it's supposed to be. How is the painting still 300 feet out? How? Of course, the doctor gets eaten by the shark, and the criminal lady doesn't care. All she cares about is getting her painting. I guess it must be really fucking valuable.
All right, now that he's feasting, we'll send somebody else out. Who's next?
I mean, I really hope they wrapped it well so that he doesn't get any water damage or anything like that. She just has one note throughout this movie, and that's bitch. That's it. Most compelling villain ever. And the criminals want to send the girls in, and some bullshit happens, and this happens, and that happens, and who the fuck cares? Movie's almost over. Who fucking cares? The one girl gets eaten. Big whoop. No one in the movie gives a shit, so why should we? They try to give us a bit more character development that I'm not even going to run through because who fucking cares? Just get the movie over with. So they finally devise a plan to scare the shark away so they can get the painting. They're still worried about this fucking painting. So what's the foolproof plan that they come up with to scare away a prehistoric shark?
And I know how to scare off sharks. Even big-ass ugly ones like that.
And what might that be?
Dynamite will keep it away.
Yeah, I know what'll scare away a megalodon! Dynamite! I'm just gonna breeze through the rest of this. The dudes get killed off.
Look out!
What?
The bitch chick gets killed Free Willy style. And now finally we have our last scene in the movie. Is it? Just watch.
Well, it's like they say. Even big ugly things can have offspring.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. What a strong note for this movie to end on. I don't even know how to describe this movie. It fails on all fronts. Writing, editing, narrative, cinematography, direction, acting, their locations, everything about this movie is just wrong. It gets everything wrong. And surprisingly, you should watch it. Seriously, you should watch this movie and experience how utterly, horrifyingly terrible it is. Just sit down and try to watch it. Make it a personal challenge for yourself. Now that that's over, I need a drink. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this new format of review that I'm doing. I've been out for a long time, so hopefully things stay consistent from here on out. There's been a lot going on, so this is the kind of review that I'll be doing from now on. So look forward to that. I'll be doing vocal covers. I'll be doing all kinds of stuff. My YouTube channel is going to be coming back in full force now. I know I've said that before. Didn't really follow through. That's my bad. Life happens. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later.